Welcome back to the Vibrant Soulful Wellness Podcast. This is your podcast for ideas, practices, and strategies for living and working more vibrantly and soulfully. I'm your host, Annie Barrett, and my calling is to guide individuals, groups, and workplaces toward higher well-being and greater fulfillment using tools of coaching, lifestyle medicine, habit change science, mindfulness, and yoga. I am glad you're here. The topic of today's podcast is strengthening our sense of belonging. As we navigate these challenging and uncertain times, one of the things we can do to improve our well-being is to strengthen our sense of belonging and our sense of feeling that we're members of a bigger web. This is crucial. The more we feel that we belong to both ourselves and the world, the better we feel, the better we can handle the challenges that come our way, and the more we're able to both receive and contribute to the goodness of the world. And I'm reminded of two quotes that I recently shared in my yoga sessions. These quotes speak about these ideas of belonging and membership. The first is from Joanna Macy and Chris Johnstone in their book, Active Hope. By refreshing our sense of belonging in the world, we widen the web of relationships that nourishes us and protects us from burnout. So refreshing and strengthening our sense of belonging in the world. And similar to that is a quote by Robin Wall Kimmerer in her recent book, The Serviceberry. And she writes, "To name the world as gift is to feel one's membership in the web of reciprocity. It makes you happy and it makes you accountable." So these ideas of belonging, of membership, and of reciprocity, I think these are three interrelated ideas that can really enhance our well-being in times that are challenging, times that are uncertain. And here are a few ways that I think about sense of belonging, and this goes on to with feeling of being a part of something bigger and reciprocity. And these are ways to strengthen your sense of belonging. So the first idea is this idea of belonging to yourself. For me, practicing mindfulness, practicing meditation, having a regular journaling practice and a regular yoga practice, these are all practices that invite me into a deeper sense of belonging to myself. So when I sit and I breathe, write, move, I have an opportunity to invite all my parts in. And all my parts, I'm bringing them all in. There's no bad parts. My body, my thoughts, my emotions, my memories, my dreams, my hesitations, my doubts, all of these are part of me. They all belong to me. When I practice meditation, journaling, and yoga, these are practices that help me care for these parts, help me be self-compassionate toward these different aspects of who I am. Through these practices, I learn to replace self-criticism with kindness. I learn to speak to myself more kindly. I learn to treat myself more kindly. And bit by bit, I come to the realization that I am doing the best I can. In fact, most of the people walking around on this planet are doing the best they can. And this belonging to myself, these practices that help me belong to myself, really are the first step to feeling a sense of belonging to others, belonging with others, belonging to the world. Because if you don't belong to yourself, it's hard to invite yourself to feel a sense of belonging with the bigger world around you. So that's the first strategy, first idea, belonging to yourself and practices that help you belong to yourself. And you may have other practices that you do. I'm imagining any kind of contemplative practices that we do on our own, whether they're meditative in form, artistic in form, creative in some way or another. These are all practices that that invite us to come back to and listen to the song that is the song of self. Now, the second idea of belonging is belonging to the past. One of the things I do is when I practice yoga, I take the time to feel into my back body, back of my skull, back of my heart, whole back of my torso. And when I do this, I'm reminded of the people that I come from, both my biological kin and my kin of heart. These are ancestors, they're caregivers, they're mentors, they're friends. They're even authors and creatives, people whose ideas I've admired. And I find that I belong to them and they also belong to me. My body, my mind, my heart has been shaped by these people, their bodies, their ideas, and their dreams. All of these are part of who I am, and these inform how I think and how I move in the world. And the more I can remind myself that I do belong to a rich past, the more I can honor those who I've come from. And then paying it forward, the more I'm able to honor the lives that I touch and to be aware of the lives that I touch. So belonging to yourself, belonging to your past, and belonging to community. Humans are social animals. Despite the modern notion to go it alone, we were never designed to go it alone. We as humans are designed to help each other and to live interdependent lives. The more we can practice reciprocity, and that reciprocity is that receiving and giving in relationship, the healthier we can be. And really, our positive relationships are stress regulators, which means that the more often we work alongside others, eat alongside others, talk to others, both the people that we come across in the street, shopping, as well as those that we live with, and the more we celebrate with others and grieve with others, the better. Research shows the happiest, healthiest humans are those with the strongest relationships. A sense of belonging to community is crucial for our mental, physical, and emotional well-being. So whatever practices you do that invite you into community with others on a regular basis strengthens your sense of belonging. And then we also belong to nature, to a bigger world. It's easy for modern humans who live in boxes that we call homes, boxes that we call offices, boxes that we call cars. It's easy to feel separate from nature. And it may take effort to make time to spend time in nature, but nature will give it back to you many times over. Spending time in nature on a regular basis through taking walks in nature, gardening, or just watching the birds or tending plants in your yard invites you to feel part of the greater web of life. And when we take the time to know the trees and to name the trees, the flowers, the birds, the squirrels, the mountains, and the waterways around us in our nook of the world, this reminds us that we too are animals and we're part of the web of life. Feeling part of this web of life makes us healthier and much more inclined to care for this beautiful planet. And finally, this idea of belonging to the now. You may feel differently, but I don't believe it's any accident that any of us have been born into these times, as interesting, beautiful, and challenging as they are. I come back again and again to the belief that there is an intersection between who I am and the call of the times. There is something in this here and now for me to receive and for me to offer. And the more I feel I belong, the more I can heed the call of now and truly make a contribution to the goodness of this world. So, in summary, when each of us tends to our small corner of the world, when each of us strengthens our sense of belonging in the place that we call home, we are nourished by this web that we're part of, and then we can nourish this web. In this way, we care for ourselves, we care for the world, and we make life ever so much more beautiful and wonderful and rich. So that's my message for today, for you to, in whatever way you like to, strengthen your sense of belonging. Thank you for coming back and listening to the Vibrant Soulful Wellness Podcast. If you like this podcast, this episode, and you want to hear more, subscribe on Spotify, and you can also head over to my website, www.vibrantsoulful.com, where you could join my weekly newsletter, and you can get links to these episodes and enjoy lots of other wellness resources. Thanks for being here, and live vibrantly, live soulfully. I look forward to connecting with you again soon.